It's been broken, yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to call to order. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the Hootli of the Tayshat and Hupetchisset First Nations. We acknowledge that we also have schools located on the Hootli of the Huu-ay-aht, Taloquiet First Nations, and the Uklulapat government. For the public board meeting on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 4:07 p.m. May I please get, sorry, for the agenda, I do have an addition of 14.1. It is a letter from the ACRD regarding the turf field. So we will also be discussing that. So that's an addition for 14.1. Can I please get approval of the agenda as amended?
Second.
Okay, moved by Craig, second by Ray. Any comments or questions on the agenda? Nope. All in favor? Thank you. Hello, Trustee Washington.
Thank you. My apologies for being late.
Okay, we just got started. Is there any conflicts of interest to declare? No, seeing none. Okay. Can I please get adoption of the minutes from the January 27th, 2026 board meeting, public board meeting?
So move, Joseph.
So move, Joseph. Second, Ray. Second, Ray. Is there any comments or questions on the meeting minutes from our last public board meeting? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Okay, so moved. Thank you very much. Going down to number 5, announcements of the chair. I do have a quick announcement. Our hearts are heavy with profound sorrow as we reflect on the tragedy that has befallen the community of Tumbler Ridge. Words feel wholly inadequate in the face of such immense loss. Yet we feel compelled to express our deepest remorse and sympathy to every family, friend, and neighbor touched by this heartbreak. No community should have to endure such pain, and we grieve alongside those who are suffering, holding them in our thoughts during what must have been an unimaginably difficult time. We are truly sorry, and we stand with the people of Tumbler Ridge as they begin the long and tender process of healing. Could I please ask Trustee Washington to make a motion for our board to send a letter of support to SD 59 Peace River South?
Yes, I would like to make a motion, please, that we send out the letter. Thank you.
Second, Ray. Second, Ray. Any comments or questions on what we know, just a nice letter? Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is passed. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, moving down to number 6, student voice. I'll go to the Wickaninnish Community School Principal, Danny Stone.
Hello, everyone. It's really great to see everybody. I'm not going to take a lot of time at the beginning because this is about student voices. So good news, we've got some great students for you to hear from. We talked just about some of the questions or just around, what's something unique that people might not know about our community, what it's like to transition from class to class. And we had students from grade 3 to 7. So I had 7 different students. They each picked a spot around the school that's one of their favorite places to be. And so I hope you enjoy.
Thanks, Danny.
Cue Paula.
Thank you.
You got this, Paula. We solid this last night. Very late.
We tried. It is playing on my screen, but I don't.
You share it, yeah?
I did. But on this. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
You got this following behind me with you.
Okay. I did, yeah.
I also see Miss Michaud in the background. Hi, Miss Michaud.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, yeah, it's up.
It's gonna be a red flag. Sorry, it's difficult to.
One more try.
So we,
We're gonna get feedback.
easier, Danny shared game screen.
Mhm.
Oh, that won't work.
That's what I'm
Can
gonna
she
gonna
share?
give out. I need to close that.
Do you want me to try and share? Well, it's really cute and they're really amazing and you're really gonna enjoy it, okay?
Danny, are
And
you?
do you want me to try share? I've got it
Yeah.
up.
Can you?
Let's try. Okay, can you
Working.
see
We
me?
can see it.
Okay, make it bigger and can you see that now?
Yeah.
Click full screen in the right, bottom right corner.
Our volumes.
Danny? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you stop share again? And then when you click share, you've got to toggle the switch that says include sound.
When you're picking
Okay.
it from the Windows list
mm-hmm.
at the
And I
top of
see
that
it.
Windows list, there's a toggle.
Oh, yeah, include sound. I see. Okay, try again.
Learning.
We're always
Charlie
learning.
Brewiler,
Yeah.
we're up.
Thank you, Danny.
His textures. Nutjacks.
Charlie, what should the adults making decisions about the school and school district think about when making decisions?
Maybe they should think about like other kids' feelings and like get to know like their ideas too.
What's your favorite school-wide activity of the year?
Probably like I love the talent show. It's very entertaining to watch. And I also really like beach day because our whole school gets to go down and like hang out at the beach.
What's something unique that people might not know about Wickaninnish or the community of Tofino?
I think it's really cool that we spend a lot of time on new channels and
What do you love about our school?
Well, school is the best.
Arnold, tell me, why is our school the best?
Well, I love math, writing, school jobs, and reading the book.
And reading the book. Awesome. Who else helps you?
Courtney.
Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney's my best friend.
She's one of your best friends and she's a helper. What do you do to have other things that help you? What are the other things at school that help you?
Well, I have Mark. He's my best friend. Oh, Mr. the best friend.
Lucas, Taj Westwood, his Texas Nutjacks.
Hi, Taj. I'm just wondering, what is something unique that people might not know about our school or school community?
That there's a wonderful little skate park in the basement.
That is certainly something unique.
That's fine. Yeah. Oh, there's Ernest too.
Taj, what helps you learn?
Like physical learning, like I'll have a hard time if he just like, if the teacher just like tells us to do a math question, we have to like write it down. But if I learn really fast if we're playing like a math game or something, or like I won't understand like a game in gym if he just like shows us the game on the whiteboard, but as soon as we get in there and we start playing, I understand immediately. I need to like do the thing to understand it.
If you had a magic wand and you got to change something about your school, what would it be?
Low-key a
trampoline park would be pretty sick.
Taj, what's one way that you contribute positively to your school community?
Well, I like to help like little kids and like here I teach like younger kids how to skate and like yeah, I help little kids.
Class nice. Something unique about the school is, well, I guess maybe some people know it, but it's not my thing. But my uncle, I guess, used to go here. Is, I think, yeah.
Very cool. Helps you learn.
What helps me learn is, well, I can definitely have help, so I can believe in myself by my teacher and my classmates and things. And I think that's what I can be confident in myself and stuff.
What should the adults making decisions about the school and the school district think about when making decisions?
Like thinking about like all the good they do and stuff about the school and like the good choices they make for the school, like how it is now. And having like confidence in each other and everyone.
And what would you tell a new kid that was coming to our school?
Tell them about tell them about how cool our school is, and tell them probably about the cool facts about our school, like the drum, like my father came in and made the drum, and things like that, and the cool teachers that I really think are cool and nice and stuff.
Yumis, what's a way that you contribute positively to your school community and the larger community?
Speaking a lot of the language, or whatever language is in that community, and just bringing positivity and happiness, and sharing my name and other people's New Chalmers names.
Thanks for sharing. Clecko, Clecko.
The class Mary Manson has Texas Clarity. Every week we would have culture in this gym on Thursdays, I think, or Tuesdays, but it's during the week, but it's a pretty good floor to dance on.
So the gym floor is an okay one to dance on?
It's an easy one, and you don't have to wear specific socks.
Nice. What helps you learn?
I would say doing it with people and maybe using materials like tiles or a hundreds chart. That's what helps me.
What should the adults making decision about the school and the school district think about when they're making decisions?
Discuss it with people and include everybody.
If you had a magic wand and you could change something about your school, what would it be?
Have a room that was warm on cold days, and then have a TV and a couch in there.
What's something you wish you could learn about that you haven't got to learn yet?
Baseball.
Baseball. What would a new kid to our school need to know?
We accept other people and not just our friends, and we're pretty kind to one another, and it's a really great school because there's so much activities you can do, and the teachers are pretty nice, and everybody mostly shares ESOC to each other.
Marian, what's a way that you contribute positively to your school community and your larger community?
I think one thing I do in my school community, I'm pretty nice to people, and I stand up for people when even if they were mean to me before. And I show talk to one another, and then I help out my TFN community by I help others when help is needed. For example, I can help elders, little kids, and I'm really good with really little infants. So.
Thanks for sharing. Clecko, Clecko.
Hi. Hi, I'm Tiffany, or I'm in Miss
Aurora's grade 5 class.
Something unique about our school community that people might not know.
We do swimming lessons in an actual swimming pool. Our great principal luckily lets us go, and we have a lot of fun there.
What was it like to transition from last year's grade to this year's grade?
It was hard because we have harder math and harder science, but it was also fun because you get more of a challenge and you get to like experience new ways in math, and yeah.
What should the adults making decisions about the school and the school district think about when they make those decisions?
They should think about what the kids said and make sure that they incorporate their ideas and listen, and making sure that what you're doing is good for our school, and making sure all the kids like it, if not something bad that no kids would want to do.
Tiffany, if you had a magic wand and you could change something about your school, what would it be?
I don't think I would change anything. I think it's perfect the way it is. It's a really nice school. If I probably could, I would upgrade the gym and like get new equipment for everyone to play with.
What's something that you wish you could learn about that you haven't got to learn yet?
Algebra.
What is your favorite school-wide activity of the year?
Pretty much just move it, because we all get to move our bodies and it's not recess, and we get to listen to music and all play.
If a new student came to our school, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that it's okay to be nervous, because I've been nervous before going to a new school, but it's just, you gotta trust people. We have really trusted adults. If you feel really uncomfortable, Miss Stone or Miss Michaud could call your parents. We have a really good principal, and just have fun. All the kids here are really nice, and if you feel like having a problem, then just talk to one of them. They'll help.
Tiffany, what's one way that you contribute positively to your school community or your larger community?
Probably lunch monitoring, helping the EAs with the kids, making sure they're being quiet and listening and eating instead of playing with their food.
Plus Tommy, his chef metrics.
Tommy, what's something unique that people might not know about our school or school community?
There's really super kind kids that I'm not sure if everybody knows, but it's a really nice time here, and I love this school because like everybody is super kind, and I really like that.
Tommy, what helps you learn?
I like learning step by step.
Tommy, what is your favorite school-wide activity?
Probably just move it because that's like a little time where everyone in the school goes out to the field or like a blacktop, and they just move and kind of get like their energy out before the start of the day, because it's on Fridays, and a lot of the time Fridays are like the crazy days. The kids are pretty crazy, but it helps a lot to have just move it, and yeah, that's probably my favorite part.
Tommy, what would you tell a new student that was coming to our school?
I would tell them about chef's lunches that they're really good. There's like burger day, and there's pizza day, and like different kinds of bagels and stuff, and it's really, and a lot of the, and biscuits and jam. We had that today. That was really nice.
Danny, that's amazing.
So 7 of our little humans, got from grade 3 to grade 7, and get to hear a little bit about what they love about our school. And it was just great to spend that time with them, chatting about that. Our staff collect data 4 times a year, where we do include student voice in that, talking about, do they feel like they have a friend? Who are their trusted adults? If they feel like the self-regulation that they're working on in their classrooms is helping them. And then also asking this year, one of the things that we've focused a little bit more on is we spend a lot of time in our partnership with TFN Language team. And so asking the kids if they feel like they're getting better at New Channels, and a lot of them do feel like they're getting a lot better at New Channels. So it was really great to hear from them on those pieces. So thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit from Wiccan Initiative students.
Thanks, Danny. Does anybody have any questions for Principal Stone?
Thank you, Chair. Principal Stone, that was an amazing presentation. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that the food is good at your school, that they can exercise and get all those frustrations out. And several students mentioned kindness.
Yeah.
And we are sitting here tonight in our pink kindness shirts because of the week that it is. And thank you so much. It was an amazing presentation.
Is there any other questions for Ms. Stone?
Just thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you, Danny. I especially like that redheaded girl in the purple.
We'll see
That
you
wants
guys
it.
on April 1st, and that's not a joke.
Yeah.
We got it.
Thanks, Danny. All right.
Yeah.
Algebra, I guess I gotta get an algebra.
That's what she starts.
Yeah, right. Good to know. Okay, moving down to number 7, trustee and selected representative statements. Is there any trustee statements? Yes, trustee Craig.
Thank you very much. I just want to mention that provincial council was last week, and I haven't got a complete report. The summary will be coming soon. Just to let you know that the fees for BCSD did go up 3.37%, but we have used equity so that we are only charged exactly what we were charged the year before. So that's a bit of a bonus, but they're dealing with what everybody else is dealing with. Costs are quite high. I'd also like to mention it because I was at provincial council, I didn't get to attend the Friday part of the Pacific Rim Indigenous Education Council retreat. But I want to mention on Thursday when I was there, a great group of ladies that are doing an amazing job. And it was very clear from the responses at the event how much they appreciated the work of the manager of Indigenous Language and Culture, Michelle Colline, manager Culture Language, Shelley Frank, and Indigenous Literacy and Numeracy resource teacher, Lenore Milliken. They are a power group. I did say at the meeting, I wish I could clone them, and we have them in every single school. They've done an excellent job with a brand new program. So it's only going to improve and only going to grow. But we will get more information coming to the board in regards to the retreat. So we'll fill in all the details at a later time. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments or statements? No? Okay. Moving down to staff reports, 8.1. Superintendent Clavers.
Thank you. As the board is aware, this is a milestone month for our budget. It's when the amended annual budget needs to be passed by the end of February. And so this is the meeting where that needs to take place. Boards are allowed to amend the preliminary budget, which was passed in June based on enrollments and what the ministry actually funds us, which we find out in December. So this is the time where we actually pass the amended budget. And ideally what we do is pass balanced budget, which I'm pretty sure we are. And so I'm very pleased that Jackie Stewart is joining us as calling her a financial advisor, but she's a retired secretary treasurer, recently retired. So I'm learning lots from her, and I'm going to actually turn it over to her because she's done the bulk of the work with other staff to get to this point.
Thank you for that introduction. As Peter noted, or sorry, Superintendent Claver noted, came to the basement, so I need to be more formal now. In your package is a narrative about planning assumptions that highlights the major changes since the board approved the budget last June. And so the total budget bylaw that you're being asked to consider tonight is for $68,922,791. The bylaw is based on spending, and that's a combination of your operating fund, special purpose fund, and capital fund. Each fund has its own set of unique rules that we must adhere to as gifted to us from the provincial government. So the operating fund is your day-to-day operations of the school districts, and expenses are meant to be within the operating grant that are provided to school districts. Of course, the special purpose fund will be balanced as well, in part because your spending is within the revenues that are awarded to the school district. The exception being the capital fund, where you are permitted to have a deficit by way of the Treasury Board Accounting Practices Order. And that exists because the school district would inevitably, like other 59 school districts, make investments in capital spending that you fund yourselves from the operating fund. So last September, a year ago, I looked to James, as he would have been the one in the driver's seat preparing the enrollment forecast. And that was based on 3,882 funded enrollments. In September 30th, actual enrollment was just over 4,000 students, full-time equivalent students. So those 128 students is good news, because more students mean higher revenues. It's a much easier position to be in when you put a conservative enrollment forecast and you overachieve that. I highly recommend it, and I know he's later on the agenda, so not to steal his thunder on that topic. So with the 128 additional students came $1.3 million in additional operating revenue. And what's really important and somewhat unique for the school district is that almost represents 98% of your operating fund revenue. So you really need to get your estimates correct, because there isn't much else in the operating fund in terms of revenue sources that can offset that. So total revenues are 57.8 million in the operating fund, excuse me. And what's really important is the work that was done late fall, December, early January. And achieving a balanced budget would not have been possible. And I can say that as somebody who has spent several hours literally going through cost center by cost center, looking at expenses, looking at trends, looking at year over year spending. So it was really a valuable exercise to position the school district in the future. It may have been some very difficult decisions, but over $1 million in savings were put on the table and implemented early January. And so I commend the senior team and the board for making the decisions. It's hard to make those decisions when a budget's already been set and you're going down a certain path. But to reflect on where you were and to understand that actions were needed to balance the budget, well done. So over 90% of the spending in the operating fund goes to salaries and benefits. Okay. And so these estimates are based on expired collective agreements. So, you know, all the headlines around the negotiations and the public sector bargaining mandate are not reflected in these numbers. They will be at some point in time, but not in the amended budget today. And the reason we do that is because the provincial government is expected to fund the increases. So as expenses go up, the funding would come in and you'd end up in the same position. So it doesn't have an impact on the bottom line that you're looking at right now. So the other change that I made in the planning assumptions was to cost employee benefits at 24%. Previously, they were estimated at 23%. So it doesn't sound like much, 1%, but when you're spending the millions of dollars in both the operating and the special purpose funds on salaries, it's important to get that estimate as accurate as you possibly can. And so that leaves about 10% of the operating fund to be spent on services and supplies. And so the most material change, of course, is that student transportation is now delivered directly by the school district. So that's something you're doing directly rather than through a third party. Also included in the budget is 24 accounts under the special purpose funds. So the funding here is usually time limited. It's for a very specific purpose. for a specific program. And so again, back to the accounting rules, revenues must equal expenses. If you have any carryover, odds are you're going to lose 1% of it. So you need to get as close to the margins as possible. And depending on where and how the money comes to be, you will end up having some of that clawed back if you're unspent. So three biggest pieces of the special purpose operating fund fall under the classroom enhancement fund. There's 3 components. And so one component is funding 41.6 teacher FTEs. It's an increase over what was put in for the preliminary annual budget. And then CEF remedies are not funded until you put your first report in the middle of October. So in preparing the budget, I've used conservative planning assumptions, and I've talked to as many people as I possibly can, because I don't have the insights I would had I been here a year or 2 or a longer period of time. So there's colleagues in this room that know that I've landed on their doorstep asking them questions. I've also relied on forecasts that have been given to me for people that own budgets. And so there's only 4 months left to the end of the year. And so with all things being true and no unplanned or unforeseen unbudgeted expenses, the operating surplus should be just over 200,000. That's a little shy. And so that'll be important to consider that next year. Well, it'll be important to consider it in the development of the 2026-27 budget, which is really the next couple months. Let's be clear. This is the time of year where we actually are winding up the current year and we're focusing on next year. So those are the big highlights. Happy to hit pause there and answer any questions.
All right. Trustees and selected representatives, are there any questions?
Just happy to have a balance of it.
Trustee Craig, yeah, thank you, Chair. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stewart. That's a relief. It's been tough, always been hard, and it's not going to be easy going forward. There have to be some further tough decisions in the next budget. A small little thing that fell into the world in BC the other day was the increase in the provincial sales tax for professional services. And of course, all this was done. Is there any possibility of, or is it a minor thing for a school district?
I'm hoping it's minor. And I mean, when you think of the audit fees,
Yes.
for instance, right? So now that's going to be taxable. So 7% on, let's call it, $25,000 shouldn't be that material, right? But it is definitely something that we need to be aware of. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Yes, Trustee Finetti.
I'm not sure that you can answer all these specific questions. I always get into specific just to understand things. So looking at page, did this for the last change? Schedule 2. It's the old 15. Anyways, one thing, well, it's really more of a notice, like the sorry, now I lost it. It's on 2 pages. It's about the international student page. Sorry, I'm flipping through all those pages and trying to find them. Basically, the 2C, sorry. 1.62 international and out of province students. So the original budget was 589,000, but now we're at 849,000. So I'm just curious, there may have been some inputting of data incorrectly or what have you, I don't know. But I'm curious how that has gone up, why that's gone up significantly. And if you might know the answer to that, someone. Because my understanding that should be at least cost neutral, if not, it should be making more. And it might still be, but the increase is significant.
Are you on page 2C and you're looking at line 1.62?
Yeah.
So that's our expenses. That's our 2 staff members.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Jackie has got the consequence revenue on that in this package.
Yes, we do. Revenue is on page, well, I'm looking at PDF. Revenues on Schedule 2A at $838,316. So slightly under the original budget of 900,000.
I'll just tag in that does not account for homestays and other expenses. 2C is simply the salaries.
Okay. There is another part of services and supplies, which is $500,000.
It's definitely something we are going to look at. Jackie has experience with international programs, as does Jasleen. And Mark can look very carefully and come to the board before the end of the year with some real numbers and analysis of exactly what's happening with that program as far as money.
Okay, and sorry, I didn't phrase my question correctly. I apologize. Some switching sheets. It is expenses. Sorry. So the expenses, the original expenses have just gone up and it's all staff though. Is that correct? Or and supplies, you just said some services.
Would be your home stays. You'd also have to pay your medical insurance for your students.
There's recruiters from out of district.
Okay.
This is, when you're looking at 2C, that there's no, as far as I know, and Jackie, you can help me out, those 2 numbers, 160 and the 78. There isn't the projected expenses on this sheet. That's just the actuals. So when you see blanks there, it's teacher salaries. There are no teachers. There are no education assistants.
Sorry, I'm on
staff.
I'm on the wrong page.
Okay.
Okay, just wanted to kind of, I saw that it came out, a few things popped out at me, but that one I just kind of thought, why is it so much different if it's, I know it's tricky for you to answer. Thank you for helping me understand that better. I appreciate your time and all the work that you come in and stepped in and helped us out here.
One thing I have tried to do is to document my assumptions. So that, and it's not just for me, because I'm not gonna, well, who knows? Somebody is gonna pick up my work and a year from now go, where the heck did this number come from? And so I've tried to tell a story as much as I did with my narrative, but also in the working papers that I created to say what information I was relying on, where I pulled my data on, and why I picked potentially a number in the middle, so to speak. But yeah, that's a good observation about the year-over-year change. I actually have comfort in my number. Just so we're clear.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to make a motion, so if you had.
Sorry, yes, I have a question.
Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
okay. Thank you.
I'll wait.
My question is in relation just to the support staff FTEs that went down by almost 5, I guess, positions and -2%. While enrollment actually increased by about 3%. And then level 2 and level 3 inclusive education enrollments rose by 14 and 47%. And so just when I see those numbers, I feel that, or it makes me think if there's like adequate funding going towards that, or is this significantly like underfunded pressure, or is it not aligned? Because, sorry, if you could answer that.
So there's multiple layers to your answer.
Okay.
And, or to my answer, sorry. So a couple of things happened in terms of the January reductions.
Right.
There was 4 positions that were contributed to the savings measures. So there's a little bit of savings for a few months per position. So if you add each of those up together, that's going to give you 1 FTE. The other part that I would suggest is that when I created the amended budget, we put as much as we possibly could against special purpose. It goes back to speaking to, I'll spend the special purpose money first, every dollar of it, before you spend operating. And so when we went through some of the planning estimates, there was some positions that say, for instance, in Community Link that you could put and package to a certain way within the spirit of what the money is intended, because you never want to be offside on what the rules are. And so there's some of that is packaging. The other part I would suggest is potentially use of casuals. If there was a vacancy, so it was spent as casuals as opposed to an FTE per se, because casual FTE or casual dollars don't count in the FTEs. So it's a little bit of noon hour supervisors, for instance. And I spent a lot of time on this, so I can speak definitively. Almost half of that budget on noon hour supervisors is casuals, as opposed to a piece of somebody's day. So when I looked at the spend, it's within the budget, but if you were to look at it as FTEs, it will look like it's down. So there's no one thing that contributes to that. And still my estimate, my best estimate, although that I ground truth it with the rosters and what I was seeing year to date. Yeah, of course.
So just to your point where, gee, our revenues were up, how come we had to reduce? If our revenues weren't up, we would not be passing a balanced budget right now. It would be in deficit. And then I'd be calling the ministry and they'd be saying, why is that? What are you doing about it? So we're lucky that our revenues were up. So I think we're using the word, the June preliminary budget was aggressive.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, okay.
So conservative.
Okay, thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure we were, because when you look at it, you're like, oh, 37% down too. Okay. Is there any other further comments? Yes, just one quick question. Sure, go ahead.
To Ms. Stewart. So for the next 4 months, we as a board then will expect on a regular basis an update as to how the expenditures are out there, are moving. Okay.
That's a statement, correct?
Yes. Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Any other further comments or questions? No, go ahead, trustee Bray.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, I would like to make a motion that the Board of Education approve the 25-26 amended annual budget as presented.
I get a second. Oh, yeah, second. Any comments or further comments or questions? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Motion is passed. Because motion is passed. May I get someone to read the second motion?
Okay.
Trustee,
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Education approve all 3 readings of School District Number 70 Pacific Rim amended annual budget bylaw for fiscal year 25-26 in the February 24th, 2026 public meeting of the board.
Yes, second by Joseph. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? No? All in favor? Thank you. Second motion is passed. Now I will read the bylaw. A bylaw of the Board of Education of School District 70 Pacific Rim called the board to adopt the amended annual budget of the board for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Students up to section 113 of the School Act RSVC 1996 C412 as amended from time to time called the Act. 1. The board has compiled with the provisions of the Act, ministerial orders, and Ministry of Education and Child Care policies respecting the amended annual budget adopted by this bylaw. 2. This bylaw may be cited as School District Number 70 Pacific Rim amended annual budget bylaw for fiscal year 2025-2026. 3. The attached statement 2 showing the estimated revenue and expense for the 2025-2026 fiscal year and the total budget bylaw amount of $68,922,791 for the 2025-2026 fiscal year was prepared in accordance with the Act. And 4. Statement 2, 4, and Schedules 1 to 4 are adopted as the amended annual budget of the board for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Read a first time, the 24th day of February 2026. Read a second time, the 24th day of February 2026. Read a third time, passed and adopted the 24th day of February 2026. And then just for, making sure we cross all our Ts and dot all our Is. I hereby certify this is a true original of School District 70 Pacific Rim amended annual budget bylaw 2025-2026 adopted by the board the 24th day of February 2026. Yes, and then someone to read the last motion.
Thank you. Be it resolved as having been read a first, second, and third time as provided in the bylaws, that the board chair and the secretary treasurer be authorized to execute this amended annual budget bylaw 2025-26 on behalf of the board, and that the corporate seal of the board be affixed thereon.
Second, Washington.
Second by Washington. Thank you. Any comments or questions? Any comments or question last time for the budget? All right. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your hard work.
Yes.
Very much appreciated.
Thank you all.
All of you.
Team effort. Okay, that's great. Okay, moving down to 8.2 graduation rates, Assistant Superintendent Messenger.
Hello, everyone. I prepared an information sheet and an attachment to go along with this presentation. I'm not going to go over all the details, but I wanted to share a few highlights and some good news with board, and we gave a similar presentation to the IEC last week. So we're happy to share this here. So I want to just highlight our continuous improvement model and as part of our enhancing student learning report, and an important release of data and information that informs our planning. And that's the How Are We Indigenous, How Are We Doing report, which was released last week. This is a great follow-up to the presentation and information that Superintendent Claver gave regarding our operational plan at the January public board meeting. Going quickly, but wanted to make sure everyone was aware that the data is available online for your further analysis. But some great news and some significant improvement that we're seeing, and that is that our graduation rates are improving. This chart here highlights our Indigenous graduation rate for 5 years. And what you can see if you've got great eyesight or if you really, really squint like me, is that we're trending up and we've surpassed the provincial average for Indigenous graduates. This is Indigenous on reserve learners, so even further above the provincial average. This is our 6-year graduation rate, so you'll see that it's higher when, and this is an important one because we recognize that learning can achieve at different rates, and some of our learners take 6 years to graduate, and that's meaningful and honoring that it can take a little longer. That was our on reserve 6-year grad rate. And this is all students. So for all students, we're slightly below the provincial average, but a good trend that we're seeing there. So we're trending in the right direction. I think that it's a result of a lot of work, a lot of collaboration. And I just want to highlight that while we're trending in the right direction and we see great improvement and great results, until we see one line on that graph, which means all students and all subpopulations are achieving at the same rate, we have a lot of work to do still. And so I think this is evidence that some of our strategic initiatives and strategies are working, and our focused effort is working, but they're really important to acknowledge there's still work to do. And I think that, as noted in the information sheet, there's a number of factors that result in this improved graduation rate. But wanted to highlight that a lot of the work has been a result of the focused effort we've been making around grad pathways and alternate referrals to the alternate program. And through the feedback and consultation and direction of our IEC, have really made a concerted effort to make sure that all students referred to the alternate school are referred with lots of thought and consideration, and that any students on the adult dogwood path are on the right pathway. And so I think it's really important to acknowledge we will always have an alternate school, and we will always have students that need an alternate school. We will also always have a small group of students that graduate on the adult dogwood pathway, and acknowledging for those students, this is a tremendous success and achievement, and there's life circumstances that have resulted in them being on this pathway. And that is not to belittle or demean an achievement, but making sure we're really conscious and focused that the students are on the right pathway for them. Again, a really quick highlight that our schools do and staff do an incredible job of working hard to make sure, and I think we heard it in the opening with Student Voice, to make sure our schools are welcoming places, safe places. Despite our community risk factors, we are achieving at or above the provincial average for measures of social well-being, and that's across different measures. This here is a section of the student learning survey, but we see similar results when we look at the MDI, the YDI, and other things. And I think that's a result of a lot of hard work and effort, and I want to acknowledge that. As I said, there's equity challenges that still remain, and student achievement results that still demand our attention. So highlighting this because this is an important time of year as we're talking budget, resource allocation. What are the strategic priorities that we want to continue? What are the ones we want to adjust? And what are the ones we maybe want to leave behind and adopt new ones? And so this is an important time of year to sort of monitor what we're doing and prioritize our initiatives moving forward.
Mr. Messenger, is there any comments or questions regarding grad rates? Yeah, Trustee Craig and then Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair. To Assistant Superintendent Messenger, thank you for highlighting the different areas here. I think one thing that we have been able to visit schools, talk directly with principals and senior staff, as well as individual teachers. The focus is so vibrant because all of this is ingrained now in all their discussions. Different schools have different top priorities perhaps, but it's really all the same together. So I think that is one reason why we're seeing a steady, slow incline. It's coming up for sure. We haven't seen that steadiness for a number of years, but it's really taken 3 to 5 years to bring us into this position. So it's very encouraging to listen to the principals in their presentations, talk to the teachers, talk to the kids. I spent the whole morning learning all about 10. I'll never forget how to play with 10 from grade 3s. I mean, they were so engaging. So I want to really recognize that the work that the staff is doing and leadership in the district is doing is definitely why we are at this position, moving up. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Craig. Trustee Zanetti.
Thanks for the chair to staff. I echo what Trustee Craig is saying. I see, from my vantage point, I see so much focused work going into increased student achievement everywhere. So thank you. I'm going to ask specifics. One of your factors that could contributing was expanding intervention supports prior to considering alternate program placement, pardon me. So when I think about that, I think about Bridges program. And so I would like to get some specifics, or if you have any, on the Bridges program and the success, because I haven't heard about it yet. So I'm wondering what the successes are, what the challenges are, if attendance is actually, because that was one of the ways we're keeping our grad rates up, or one of our intentions, and keep our students in the mainstream program, I guess you can call it. So I'm wondering about the attendance, the completion of that program, and if we're getting transition into back to mainstream, or if that's the right program at Bridges, or if they're going back to the alternate school. So I'm wondering about how that's going, because that's one of our interventions, if I'm understanding correctly.
Through the chair, in response, trustee Vanetti, it's one of a number of interventions. And I think it's important to note that all our schools are tracking all our students, and the interventions are very specific to the individual students. Specific to Bridges, I do know we've spoken to Principal Macaulay and asked him to come to the education committee and present a more detailed report regarding Bridges. So I'm not in a position to give specific stats or data about that program, but what I will tell you is that Principal Macaulay has shared that his staff and his school feel it's been a tremendous importance to particularly the grade 8-9 students. We also have seen the impact of land-based learning program at ADSS and USS. You mentioned attendance. We do have clearly tracked attendance data and improved attendance through those programs. You mentioned transitioning successfully back to mainstream classrooms, and we have significant evidence of that from our land-based learning program. I think the other thing that those interventions help with is when those interventions don't work, we have really good evidence of why the students need more support and why a referral to a different programming like our alternate school, or why a different pathway might be necessary. So we want to make good decisions, and good decisions require good information.
Thank you. I have a comment. When I was reading the How We're Doing report, something that stood out for me was that roughly about 80% of the Indigenous students are absent, like they're missing at least 10% or more of school days, which is considered that's a lot. So like you said, as though we are doing great work, there is obviously, we need to get them in the school to help them to graduate. So that was interesting for me to learn that they're still missing quite a few, and obviously circumstances are can be out of our control, but just making sure that which I do believe in hearing from student voices, especially that our schools are all welcoming and things like that. But that's an alarming number. Okay, does anybody have any further comments or questions for superintendent?
Just in response.
So you can respond.
I tend, similar to what trustee Craig mentioned, was this focus on graduation rates and referrals has been a 4-year process, a collaborative team effort. I want to acknowledge our Indigenous Education Council, who's asked us some tough questions and really forced us to look at some of the way we're doing things. This is the first year of a focused effort on attendance. It is a province problem.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful that in 3 or 4 years, I can come back and share the data and improvement that we've made because we've had a focused effort on attendance.
Yeah, so it's great. Yeah, it's great that we've had we know it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, James. Is there any other further comments or questions? No. Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair. I have a question, please, if I could.
Don't swear. Oh, yeah, it's okay. There you go, Larry. Go ahead, Larry.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to Assistant Superintendent Messenger. Just a question about related to Indigenous student absences. One of the things I'm hearing in some of the committee work I'm doing for BCSTA is that quite often students are away doing what they say, making their medicine. They're doing traditional activities on their home territories, and they're marked absent by the ministry. There's no way of giving them credit for doing things like traditional dance activities, etc., training for other activities that are required as membership of the band. And And I'm wondering if there's been any discussion at higher levels about finding a way to give Indigenous students credit for doing activities that may not be actually school-based, but maybe similar to what they're learning on the land, but they're doing it with their own nations. If you could please respond, Mr. Messenger.
Through the chair, absolutely. We know that learning takes place in different places and in different spaces. And I can tell you that there are students in our district right now receiving credit for cultural activities they're engaged in outside the school through different courses, one of them being independent directed studies. And there's a bit of a two-pronged answer to that is I also know that the ministry is looking at how absences are coded and tracked to consider that maybe they're, right now we have absent, excused absence, unexcused absence, or presence at present. And we know that there's a large range of absences, and perhaps tracking it differently may better inform us and better capture why those students are absent.
Great, thank you. Just if I could, Chair, ask a
Larry.
follow-up question. Thank you. So if the parents or the families don't contact the school to advise the school that the student will be absent, then they're just marked absent. Is that correct?
Correct.
Great.
They should,
Okay.
yeah.
But you're saying there may be more actions by the ministry to find ways to include those students in there as being in attendance. There's going to be a method of doing that.
Correct. Or different absence coding. For instance, absence cultural leave being one of the things that's discussed.
And I'm just wondering if that's going to be well related, passed on to the nations so that they're well aware, the families are well aware that is something that may happen.
I think continuing to increase awareness about that and understanding, similar to the different opportunities for credit and learning, it is a continued awareness piece. I can tell you that we've had very rich conversations with the Indigenous Education Council about that and about what we can do to increase that awareness and understanding.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Messenger.
Yes, Trustee Craig.
Thank you, Chair. So are we at the point where we can now move forward with that question to Superintendent Baker? Why don't Pacific Rim do that? Could we? So,
Yes, great question.
I want to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our student management system is not ours. It's a provincial management system. That's where our attendance is at. So it's just going to take some lobbying and some conversation with the ministry about it's a very, even just to get our nation's names in there correctly, took 5 years.
Yeah.
Are they all correct even now? No, I don't think so. So it's a long process. It's going to take some big push, but something like the Superintendent's Association will push for, and the BCSTA push for that kind of thing.
Thank you. Take note. Okay. Everybody. Okay, thanks, Larry, for that. Any other
More
com-
hands up.
Oh,
Paula has them too.
oh, yes.
No, I was just letting you know that elected representative Wiley has her hand up.
Oh, go ahead. What, Mr. Wiley?
Okay, yes, thank you for those different comments along the line here and your questions that you have, Larry. And I guess if there's going to be information passed on to the nations about changing the coding, tracking, et cetera, for students, one important and simple way to get that through is to have that information go through the Tribal Council's newspaper. That would be the Hashiltsa. And the Nuu-chah-nulth Tribal Council is the one that funds and operates that newspaper, and it goes to all of the Nuu-chah-nulth First Nations. And, the other thing it's to bear in mind is that the school district has the local education agreement with the body of educational funding for Indigenous students goes to the school district fund. So that's a simple way to get basic information to the communities. Good question, good discussion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Wiley, for that information. Okay, any other further comments or questions? Seeing none, we will go down to 8.3, 2026-27 enrollment projections. Mr. Messenger, keep going.
Yes, so I provided an information sheet in the agenda package just regarding an enrollment update. We did give some enrollment updates to our finance committee about a month ago, and then follow up to our education committee. We did our February snapshot to the ministry last week, and we have we submitted our updated enrollment projections. As was discussed in terms of our budgeting process, we're wanting to be conservative with our enrollment projections. So we hopefully have good news to report in September and are over our projected number, and highlighted all the different factors that go into our enrollment projection, and just noting that we're projecting a decrease of about 120 FTE students. So that's slightly less than what was reported last time. That reflects our updated enrollment information from February, and a closer look at our projected enrollment.
Thank you for that. Yes, Trustee Washington.
Thank you. Through to Assistant Superintendent and Messenger. Just for information for the public, can you let us know what that means in dollars?
Well,
I just want people to be prepared. Thank you.
Yeah. Our base funding per student is a little over $8,000. Now, some of those students will receive supplemental funding, unique funding, but that's a significant decrease to our operating fund.
Superintendent.
Just to follow up, by March 15th, by law, we have to be given our preliminary funding based on that. That's when Jackie will have a look at that, and after we get back from spring break, tell us exactly what that means. So more to come.
Thank you. I have a question just regarding that. Given that our current budget was, very strict and we had financial pressures, what's the plan for next year's budget with this decrease in, because it's already, just an overall, I don't need the nitty gritty, but just as enrollment declines, that's going to put pressures on other spots. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What that means, as most of our budget is staffing, is that there will still staff less. And then if our enrollments come in better than expected, we'll look at the difference between the preliminary budget and when that actually happens at the end of September.
Right.
Remember, we'll get in December our final allotment.
Yeah.
So ideally, we see more kids and we can staff up in certain areas. It's difficult to staff down in elementary schools. So largely that will be outside of the elementary schools. It also is impacted by our CEF grant and how much we were able to claim on our CEF, which we'll have to let the ministry know soon. Because we claim additional teachers somewhere between 30 and 38, maybe we'll get to 40 beyond this operating amount, but based on enrollment.
Yeah.
The other piece I have to say is we don't know what the base student amount will be until we get into March 15th. Typically, it's gone slightly up, but we've already been told by the ministry there's budget pressures all around. They claim the Ministry of Education and Health will not be impacted, but we'll see when we get that preliminary funding.
Thank you. It just makes me think, just a comment, because our inclusive ed seems to be going up and it is a provincial trend. And I heard from the Minister Barrett, especially in inclusive education, that we're seeing more students with specified designations, more so with significant financial pressures, it's going to be hard. So just want to make sure that our students are getting supported, of course, as we all. Okay, any further comments or questions? Yes, Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair, for the staff. Trustee Washington asked about the cap, the money So it works out to 960,000 at 8. Okay. So what does that work into staff? I'm going to think educators is where it's said. So we will be staffing less because we have less money. Makes sense. So how much less staff or types of staff are we talking about? And along with that question, it also mentions in here, there's 2 questions, sorry, let's do them both at once. That the changes are going to affect the secondary schools more. So does that mean that we're going to lose electives or trades courses, or do we have that answer yet? Because you may not be able to answer that because you're wondering why students are even interested in these courses. But if we have any inclination, can you give me some answers or some guesses perhaps?
I'll start. Okay. It's more than that. It's more than $1 million.
Okay.
And we will look at everything. Obviously, we don't want it to impact programs for kids for sure. And so we have to look at that when we're discussing that with the secondary schools to make sure that we're not losing any programs and supports. But it's across the board. It's not just teachers. If you look at the average cost of a teacher, I believe is about $100,000 plus 24% of benefits. So 124 is our average cost of a teacher. So you can sort of divide that into, it's closer probably to $1.5 million overall. Because we do have fewer designated students also being claimed next year than this year because of our graduating class.
Just through the chair, with regards to the impact at secondary, that comment is speaking to the fact that we're seeing that not all our secondary students are enrolling in full-time courses. So again, wanting to be conservative and also conservative with our projections for distributed learning. While the head count, they may have students, but not all students enroll full-time. Secondary, it is easier to add a teacher to support additionally enrolled students or to add a course rather than to add a classroom of elementary students. That's specific to that comment.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to pause to make the comment that 120 students across all of our schools, across all of our grades, we have no idea where those 120 are going. So we may, yeah.
I have a good idea whether.
We do have a good idea? Okay, good.
I actually, just with your comment kind of triggered something, James, just regarding like our online learning. I did notice it was down 28%. And I was just wondering, because it is kind of like a lower cost to provide education. Like, do we know why it's down? Or because it, I'm just curious if anybody has an answer on why is it down so much?
I can't comment specifically on where you're quoting the 28%.
Well, it was in the budget, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why we're being conservative there is, first off, we see more variance with our enrollment in distributed learning. The environment of distributed learning is changed. The policies and guidelines for distributed learning has changed quite a bit, and that's impacting our enrollment. So there's a greater uncertainty. So again, why we're wanting to be more conservative, where we have we're pretty darn close when we look at our projected kindergarten enrollment, our outgoing grade 7s, and we can know by neighborhood, like pretty close where we're going to be. Distributed learning has had a lot more ups and downs.
Right. Okay. Well, because if students are enrolling for full time, then you would think they'd be taking online, like in my head, online courses. But that was just like our choices program, right? Like it was down 28%, and so they could be taking it somewhere else. Essentially.
From projected.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we claim in February.
Yeah.
And they didn't appear at the level we expected.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Just an example of some of those non-full-time registrations is I'm a grade 12 student. I fulfilled all my graduation requirements in January. I'm not going to take another semester of learning. I'm going to go traveling, or I'm going to enroll in university classes. So it's not always a matter of them enrolling elsewhere.
I got it.
in
Yeah,
the
okay,
public
yeah, yeah.
system.
I see what
It's
you
an
mean.
awareness that
They graduated early or they have other options. Yeah, okay. Okay, any other comments or questions on, enrollment projections? No. Okay, online. All right, going down to 8.4 district mileage rates, manager of corporate services, thank you.
Hi there. I did provide an information sheet already regarding the annual change to the mileage rates. These are driven by, ours are driven by BCSTA changing their rates. So they just updated theirs by cent per kilometer. And so annually we will follow that change. So this is just a motion being brought forward to update those rates to match BCSTA's.
Yes, trustee Joseph.
Make a motion. Is it okay? That the Board of Education approve the increase to the per kilometer mileage rate used for personal travel expense claims in the all other category from 72 cents to 73 cents effective March 1st, 2026.
Second, Bray.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Oh, I had one. I know, sorry. This might be silly, but like, does this have like a big financial impact, increasing 1 cent? Like, I know we're in financial pressure and I feel like it's kind of silly. If it is like a couple thousand, can we save it and put it somewhere else? I mean, wouldn't. No, yeah, okay. Sorry.
One of the savings measures put forward in January was to reduce travel.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with teens and, being mindful of time as much as cost.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's other ways to do things, but other times it's meeting online isn't always beneficial. But, even if you could move that to every second or every third meeting, then you're right, you would have some potential savings. But I think that's work that we can look at through the budget development to say, is there a different way of using your travel budget, bearing in mind that there's an offsetting increase?
Yeah. So keeping in that mind, you guys, do we want to increase it? Should we just keep it at? But I guess it goes against policy because it's in the policy. So, I mean, and we rebels and go against policy. No, okay, go ahead, trustee.
No, sorry, then down the line, what happens is you're so far behind and it's such a dramatic increase to increase it. It's even more.
Can we put a pause on it while we're in financial pressures? Because it feels silly kind of to increase it by 1 cent. I know, just because BCSTA did it. Helen, do you have a comment about that on the
Well, sure.
policy?
Yeah,
You're good.
I don't know if I have a comment on policy. I have my own opinion.
Sure.
Policy is policy. You're right. We set policy, so we could look at that. Opinion wise, it's based on COLA, like your cost of living. So people are paying more for their gas. So this is the compensation piece. So you want to compensate people properly. And I think if we don't compensate people, then we're going to get less happy. I think they already feel burdened. So I think a cent is not a big deal. I don't think. And with the great suggestions about, we've already made cuts to travel. So that's a way for us to save. So I'm sure when they make these adjustments, like BCSTA, they consider things as, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but I'm going to, I think it's fair. In my mind, it makes sense. And cost of living is more. So I'm,
okay.
I think it probably.
Go ahead, Larry.
Thank you, Chair, through you. Just a comment. I'm just wondering about the 5 cents for trips on unpaved roads. How relevant is that now with the Banfield Road paved? Is there still a lot of travel on unpaved roads in our district?
Anybody have an answer to that?
It's not paved.
It's yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I believe it's top sealed. I don't believe it's paved. And yeah, it's
No, so there's a difference.
Oh, I saw you shaking your head and I thought you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
So we do still have that category. However, people who are requesting reimbursement for the mileage on those roads are going to have to obviously show that it was a road, an unpaved road that was traveled.
So just to clarify, if I can, there, Chair, is, so the Banfield Road is not considered paved then? It's considered chip sealed, is that not?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Trustee Washington.
Thank you. At the risk of tooting our own horn, we as a group have decided that board members, that we're going to travel to less events. We're going to travel more as groups, so that mileage becomes less of an issue. When we go to visit schools in other areas, we all travel together in vans and such. So we are trying to do our part as well.
Yeah.
We pool, carpool.
Superintendent Claver.
I just wanted to, maybe it's a point of order, I'm not sure. I don't believe this motion is necessary. This rate is set in the AP, which is the superintendent's purview. And the language says travel mileage rates and per diems will be set in accordance with the British Columbia School Trustees Association rates on a yearly basis and will be updated in Appendix 1 as necessary.
Oh, there you go.
And I believe that was a change from before,
Right.
when you did set it on an annual
Right.
basis,
Annual basis, but we updated that policy, did we not? No,
2025.
2025, yeah. Okay. Larry, do you have a comment still?
Yeah, so then it would be a point of information at this time? Is that how it would be show up on the minutes?
Yes.
No, there is a motion on the table
Yes.
right now, so I think I would request probably trustee Joseph to rescind that motion. And I will.
Great.
Motion.
Thank you. Okay. Everyone good on that? Any comments or questions?
Sorry.
No, it's fine, Peter. Okay, moving on down to number 9, there's no petitions, delegations, or presentations, and there's no unfinished business or new business. Oh, wait, sorry, there is new business. Sorry, I just had to turn my page. 10.1 Campus of Care application, Trustee Craig.
Thank you. I did share with trustees the information around Campus of Care project. So I'm sure that you've had a chance to look at it and go to the website for Community Futures. And they are looking for a letter of support from the school district to remove a particular piece of land from the ALR in order to proceed with this Campus of Care. So that's where we're at tonight. I had a verbal request from the Alberta Low Energy Housing I'm not sure if it's president or chair, Mr. Rattan. And then he sent an email and I sent that out to trustees. I don't know if you recall receiving it from Mr. Rattan. Anyway, we're at that point where they need the letter ASAP. And I'm hoping that you will support this. It's an important addition to our community. We'll bring in professional individuals with families and add to our school population perhaps. And also offer a great community for future employees for the school district. So I would recommend that you would agree to sending this letter. There is a sort of a, what would you call that letter? It's just a base letter that they do provide, but I would prefer it be on our letterhead in our words, if that's possible.
Sure. Sorry, I didn't mean, yes. Any questions? Any comments or questions for Trustee Craig? Campus of Care.
Are you making the
There he
motion?
is.
I'm making the motion, but you can second it if you wish. But if you have a question, I can.
Both can second it, then discussion.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Larry has his hand up.
okay.
Go ahead, Larry.
Well, I'm just waiting for the motion to be moved and then I
Yeah.
have a question.
Oh, okay,
All right,
go for it.
okay. That the Board of Education directs staff through the superintendent to write a letter on behalf of the board supporting the application to the Agricultural Land Commission to remove the city-owned property at 5355 Cherry Creek Road, Port Alberni, BC, from the Agricultural Land Reserve, ALR, to enable the development of a primary care health campus in Port Alberni.
Second that was.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Larry.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to Trustee Craig, made some clarifying questions. I read as much as I could about the meeting and the information you sent, but I didn't see a rationale for having the land in question removed from an ALR rather than seeking other land closer to the existing hospital or other healthcare facilities. And maybe you can expand on the rationale that
Certainly. If this project has been underway for almost 4 years, 3.5 years about, all available lands in the community have been thoroughly investigated by the committee that's proposing this particular piece of land. This particular piece comes to this project at no cost. It is owned by the city, and they are prepared to put this piece of land into this project for construction. So that in itself does relinquish the cost somewhat. The ACRD has mentioned that in previous requests to the Land Commission, oftentimes a second piece of property is offered in is given to be entered into agricultural land, so that piece that is being considered can be removed. So that in the end, it's a balance. There's still no loss to the total acreage for land. That's, I don't know if it would happen in this case, but that comment was made at public meeting.
Is that good for you, Larry, or do you have a further comment?
Just a follow-up question about benefit to the community. How many jobs are we talking about for this campus of care, and how many units of housing for our community is proposed here?
Okay, the proposal is that we have 3 to 4 doctors retiring within the next couple of years. And that is translated to 3 new employees to 1 doctor. That's how this process back has been developed. They figure that with the new idea of running a doctor's office, does not have a doctor working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So in order to have that practice work, there is 3 positions that are working within that body of patients or clients. So it would add about 18 new physicians overall to the community. Plus, included in this is a specialist, a laboratory, a pharmacy, and a connection to training and innovation spaces for UBC medical facility. Now, the separate set of proponents for this is the Alberni Low Energy Housing Society, and they will come on site and build a daycare and 90-unit residential building.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Larry, for your question. Is there any other comments?
Oh, I forgot about me.
Oh, yeah, Trustee Washington and then Mr. Wiley.
Thank you. Also, just to further on that, Larry, they have hired a company that has a very good reputation for having land being moved from ALR. It was also told to us, I've been to 3 meetings now on this, and it was also told to us that this is not great land for agriculture.
The test came through no good for agriculture.
Not good for agriculture. So that's very positive in our position. This is when they say campus of care, they really do mean campus of care. It's supposed to attract physicians. We'll have housing for them. We'll have, yes, right? And it's unprecedented here in BC. This is something that we'd be one of the first in British Columbia to have this type of campus, for lack of better words. And I think this is huge to get on board. The more medical positions we lose, the more people we lose out of our community. We are already short, sorry, we already have 8,000 people without a physician in the Alberni Valley right now. So if we're gonna lose 4 doctors over the next, it equates to another, yeah.
Another 10,000.
So it's just, we need to do something to entice people here.
Thank you.
Health professionals.
Okay, Mr. Wiley, go ahead.
Yes, I think we understand the need for and the rationale for, building a facility like this. If there's going to be a motion, I think the motion should indicate that it is city-owned land and that they're looking at just changing the designation. It would make it a lot simpler, and I think that was a good question, but I didn't get really a clear understanding until it was explained that it is city-owned land. So we're not asking anything major in this process.
And it does say that, Representative Wiley, it does say Agricultural Land Commission to remove the city-owned property at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
right
have
there.
I don't have it sitting in front of me. So if it says that, okay, fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Oh, I'm ready to vote. Yes, trustee Zanetti, go ahead.
Thank you, the chair. I attended only one meeting, so I haven't gone to 3 or 4. And I also attend the ACRD Agricultural Economic Development Committee. So they had some feelings on the ACR taking it out of the ALR, pardon me. But they also, I generally felt, I should say, that they understand the importance of it as well. And they share in that, but farmland's farmland, right? It's hard to lose farmland. I understand that you're saying, I didn't know the test came back. That's so great. There was some understanding that, I think there was some understanding that it wasn't the best farmland. And there was a mention of a swap at the meeting that I went to.
Yes.
So they were talking. I also wanted to to put that in context, sorry, there's some agreement on that agricultural economic, but they're worried about the land. Sorry, I lost the train of thought. One of the other things that I found interesting that I just wanted to comment from the meeting that I attended, and I've heard it from this group, the agro development. So the land where the mall is, it's in front of the old Staples.
Staples.
Yeah, sorry. So the Staples area, before it had to be taken out of the ALR, and the city that was approved for the governing body province to take it out of the LR, and they were supposed to put a market in our space to have a market. They never followed through. So this is my understanding anyways. I know there's members here that people that might know more, but so it's not good precedence. If you say you're going to do something, you don't do it. So this is a complicated issue. I just wanted to add that to the mix, but yeah. It's in the idea of having the campus care. There's an element of educational opportunities, as you said, the UBC thing. And so this could be something for our secondary schools to somehow get in on. So that's pretty darn cool or great. Yeah, so this is a hot topic for a lot of people. So, but they see the need, and this is just one step. I mean, this is just a yeah, and they may not get it of the ALR, but and for Larry's comment about Trustee Craig already replied, but about the area, they want it out of the tsunami zone. That was a big thing about it, and being close to services. So this. After all the years of research, this was what they came up with. So that came up in one of the meetings that I went to. There was a lot of discussion from the public. So I'm in favor of the motion. Now, the letter is being written to the community futures. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Their hand stick or their stick handling of it all.
And the city has, is planning on sending the application to. Okay, so I wasn't quite sure if I heard that.
We can do this as a school board, but you can also do it as individuals. So please feel free to go on and sign the petition or do your own letter.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do think this is an important you know, hot topic. And I do think that it would benefit our students and putting our students focused. We kind of got off track a little bit, but putting our students forward in this campus of care would be great for our students to have access to this. And just as a side note, our campus of care in Topino got denied. So, and it's too bad. So it'd be great to have one here. Yeah, because I'm here all the time. So, okay. For the motion that's on the table, all in favor? Great. Motion is passed. Thank you very much. Okay, everybody. And then, oopsies, moving on down to, there's no staff reports, number 12, policy development. There is no policies for adoption or public consultation. There is no notice of motions. And then down to 14.1, the ACRD letter that we just got received today. So I hope everyone has had time to have a little read over the letter. Yeah, that's trustee Bray.
Thank you, Chair. I know we had sent some correspondence requesting a more casual meet and greet with the ACRD, and I'm wondering if we've heard back from this on that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Trustee Washington was distracting me.
I know that we sent some correspondence to the ACRD Board of Directors requesting a more casual meet and greet. Have we heard back from them?
I have not heard directly back from him, but I wondered if this was response to that, because I did email Mr. Jack personally through and copied all of you on the board, and then we have got this more formal letter back. So I'm not sure if this was in response to my email, because I did not specifically have anything specific on the agenda. I'm not quite too sure.
I feel like this is not, no, because it's how the ADSS turf field project may align with regional district priorities, and they are actually inviting us to their meeting. So I believe we would come as a delegation and present to their board meeting. Similar to a city council meeting, like it's very official. So yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just saying we had reached out to the chair and asked for a more casual meeting. So that's why I'm thinking that.
Yeah,
this is not.
I was hoping that we would more present to him on, remember how we had that like presentation about our school stats, how many schools we have, and what the number of students, and just kind of all of our services, and having a broader and just creating a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was kind of like, so anybody else have any comments on this? Are we feeling that we want to go into? Yes.
Through the chair and Assistant Superintendent Messenger, if you need to jump in at all, please feel free. It's my understanding that when staff reached out to ACRD in regards to speaking about hoping for their involvement in seeking funding for the replacement of the turf field, that their manager of administrative services had replied back and asked us as a board to write and formally request that ACRD enter into discussions with us through being a delegation at an upcoming meeting to speak about their involvement. And we sent that letter. I believe you also saw a copy of it, asking that it be considered as part of their regional services. And it's my understanding that this letter, although signed by the chair of the ACRD Board of Directors, is a direct response to our letter. I don't believe this to be a response to your email asking for general government to government meetings.
Okay. Yes.
Just to the chair, I can confirm, I watched a portion of the board meeting on YouTube, and this is a direct response to our letter of around the turf, and then a direction to communicate back to you.
Okay. So we do need to do this then. We need to go and discuss with them about the turf field, and we do need to present, I'm assuming, with staff or staff or.
I believe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they invited the board of trustees. So I think it's important that we decide what our action's going to be on this, and then we can decide what it's going to look like.
Okay, so what would we like to do?
I think with the time sensitive matter, to support our senior staff's movement in replacing our turf fields. I think that we should go on March 11th, and I think we should present to them.
March 11th is spring break.
Totally, yeah.
Right. I just,
For families with kids, that's different.
yeah, for families with kids, that's difficult. And especially for, I think we're gonna need to get some information from staff and everything. So I think that might be a bit too tight. But what about, yeah,
I wonder if board might consider an agreement in principle to connect, to respond with regarding one of these meetings, and then side communication to arrange which date would work for the majority of
Yeah,
board
people.
and senior
Okay.
staff that could attend.
yeah, okay.
Would that be? So if perhaps the board needs to make a decision, it's that we'll respond to set a time to meet. with
Yeah,
them and
okay,
discuss.
and discuss what we want to do. Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
I just don't want it to go too long to offset the progress that you've made, because it's very important that we get this sorted out. So I would hate to wait until April 22nd. I would hope we could have this done by the end of March.
Okay.
That's my only concern.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can only do what we can, yeah, what we can do. Okay. Great. So we will leave that and we'll come back to it. Oh, sorry, yes.
Through the chair, could I possibly suggest, because this is a correspondence with action required, that perhaps a suggested motion that the Board of Education directs staff through the superintendent to advise the ACRD which meeting they are available to attend. And that way then perhaps I can reach out to everybody tomorrow and figure out whose schedules work best, but at least we have the direction that we can respond, letting them know we will be coming in. We
So
can
moved.
arrange offline what date. Well, I can't move it,
Yeah.
but just.
Yeah,
I know, it's
I got
get
it,
away.
got it.
I'd like to move that the Board of Education direct staff through the superintendent to advise the Alberta Clayoquot Regional District which meeting they are available to attend.
Yes.
Second.
Joseph, oh, great, yeah, one of the biggest. Perfect. That would be great. All, questions? Yes, trustee Kennedy.
So I just have a couple questions about this.
Okay.
So this is definitely a staff thing, not trustees. I mean, trustees definitely there for support, but this is a staff presentation to the ACRD. So I just want to make that clear. This is what I'm wondering. This is not, our staff is engaging in negotiation with their staff in regards to potentially having a model. So I'm more than happy to attend, but I just want to get clarification on that. Some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Generally, staff work with staff.
Yeah.
So I think that this would be likely James with whoever trustees can meet there, and I don't think it needs to be everyone. Honestly, I do think the time is of the essence on this one, that it get in front of them as they start working at their budgets to see if there's any interest at all. James has done a lot of work with the city. They've been great. Their staff's been great. I think part of this was a bit of frustration that we weren't getting response from the ACRD staff. And so this doesn't need to be a long presentation. Here's where we are. Here's our cost issues. And then, I think a pre-meeting, obviously, where trustees can sort out how they're going to back up the information piece that James can present as far as it's important to our community, it's important to our kids, this is why it's important in the big picture for us. Here's the dollars and cents that we're struggling with. I don't think that all trustees need to be there, but I trust great it sooner the better.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at the wording in this letter, which is why I feel like it's important that we, because it's the board of directors inviting the board of trustees. So I just want to make sure that we're not crossing lines here and that we're properly represented in what they're expecting in that. I agree with Peter.
Trustees today. Thanks. I also, to the board, to the chair, to the board. I also wanted to, just because I'm beginning of this whole conversation, we're wondering what we're meeting about. Was it regarding the turf field or regarding our other requests? So I think that there's a need here possibly to just clarify as well, that we would still like to have a government to government meeting besides this, because we were confused. Possibly there's going to be on that on their side. So I'd like to also say that.
Go ahead.
Just a suggestion that in the response letter that says, here's the date, we still would also like to meet more informally to discuss other items of mutual interest. Like that.
Yeah, thank you. So we're amending the motion to include saying like that, or creating a letter to include all the things we've just discussed. Okay.
I don't think we need to amend the motion.
Okay, now just make it sure.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Who's emotional?
Oh, is there? Okay, Larry, no comments. Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion is passed. Thank you, Sala, for that. Okay, moving on down. All right, back in there. Okay, for correspondence of Wickinninish Community School Society Annual Report. Is there any comments or questions on that? Yes, trustee Zanaidi.
Thank you. I hit the button. There we go. I just pardon me, thank you to the chair to staff. I can't remember everything, so I'm going to ask some questions that may be redundant. But when I read this, I thought, okay, I'm looking at equity in the whole region, and I'm thinking of community schools. So Wickinninish is a community school. They get some extra funding because they're community schools as well as Banfield. I'm thinking of Hewlett Elementary. Are we, and I'm also thinking about where the money's coming from. It's coming in from the Community Links Fund. So I can't remember where the money that we give to Banfield for their community school comes from, probably the same one. So that's one of my questions. And is there equity in the amount of money per capita, per student, pardon me, that we're doing this funding? And are we doing something similar with, I know we have lots of elementary schools, but I'm just wondering, because on the West Coast, there's only 2 elementary schools. So is Hewlett also getting, they're not a community school, but I'm looking at equity. Are we balancing out their extracurricular and funding? So there's a lot wrapped in there. So hopefully someone can help me with those. Go ahead.
I'll just give you a short answer because that's really a budget development question, but the answer to how it's being spent right now is Banfield and Wickinninish get the same amount of money. That's been a conversation the board has had for decades.
Yes.
Because of the difference in student enrollment, but then also the needs and what can you do if you're going to do it based on 35 kids? It's not a lot.
Right.
Euclid does not have a community school and therefore they've not received the funding. The history is that way back, districts got money, additional funding, targeted funding for community schools that ended. So yes, we take it out of Community Links. And that's how that's funded. And that's all then also how we funded the Healthy School Coordinator at the high school through Community Links, because remember there were the Alberta Community School Society as well. That really fundraised a lot, had a lot of grants. So that's where we spend some of that money. So that's a good question when we look at our budget development as to whether you want to review that or not.
Thank you for reminding me, because there's so much stuff I can't remember it all. So yeah, and the point about the per capita doesn't make sense because of the needs. So that's an excellent point that I forgot. Thank you.
Okay, any other further comments or questions on the annual report? Okay, going down to external board committees, we have 16.1, the Alberni Valley Museum and Heritage Commission meeting minutes, and 16.2, the Alberni Clayoquot Health Network. Is there any comments or questions on those?
I just wonder if trustees have read the Heritage Commission first statement. Everybody read it?
I think I read something.
I don't remember.
Okay, so I volunteered as chair for the Alberni Valley Museum Heritage Commission. Councillor Mealy was very kind in taking the chair position on a meeting to meeting basis. Thank you, Councillor Mealy. And to move this along, we have a lot of comments that we want to bring forward to the council. And so we're going to need to have a chair in place. So just so that you know, that's a little bit of extra duty.
Okay. Great. Sorry. Any other comments or questions on that? No? Okay. Moving down internal board minutes. What about the education committee meeting minutes? Is there any comments or questions on those? Okay, nothing.
You see them in the back.
Then I missed it.
Oh, sorry, this must be the old.
Should be finance and all.
What are they in the packet? Was that the?
I have the education.
Sorry, I have the education meeting minutes, yeah. From February 3rd.
Maybe.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I can't do that. I
apologize. So sorry.
Get you back later.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the chair, there was a new feature that allows me to move minutes, when they're in draft over to the next agenda. So I tried this new feature. And for some reason, it actually remained blocked. So when I present, it did attach, but when I sent out the first agenda, it didn't unlock them. I think it wants them to be passed before it unlocks them or some such thing. I need to look into it, but the revised agenda does contain them.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Sorry, so I didn't, oh, sorry.
I'll go back. I was found, anyways.
So many, just, thank you.
Questions from the audience? Yes.
Do you want me to?
Yes, please.
Hi, so I just wanted to say with the I had to write it down just to keep me on track here.
Okay.
With the recent horrible events that happened in Tumbler Ridge, I wanted to see if the school district is going to be investing in in-house counselors for our students. For over the 25 years that I've been volunteering in the schools, I've seen that there is a severe need for in-house counseling from professional psychologists for our students, especially at schools, ADSS, 8th Avenue, USS, and Banfield. I think that this would be a great investment for our kids, and I would like to see that happen. I know that the funding is quite restricted right now, but the school board is quite top-heavy and it doesn't look like part of the budget was cut, but the support staff, that's that I read anyways, looks like that. This is the most top-heavy board office that I've ever seen in the 25 years that I've been involved. So I'm just making a statement here for you guys that I'm really quite shocked at how top-heavy it is. But I do think that getting on-site psychologist is a major priority for our students and to give them all the tools that they need to be productive humans in society when they graduate. Just to give you some background, my family lives in Tumbler Ridge. So I'm there every year. I'm very familiar. I clean the school. When my mom used to be janitor, she's security there now. My brother works for the district, so I'm very familiar. Seeing a school district that doesn't have counseling support, proper counseling and support, because when the minds go down, everybody goes. So it's just something I wanted to bring up to you guys, that I really think that we need to really start looking at getting some really good help for the kids in the schools. And also the letter that you guys want to send up to the district, could that also be sent to Mrs. Deely, the principal at that school? So that, I mean, it's going to the district, but Mrs. Deely is the principal. So, and I also wanted to add that I felt that when we were talking about the referral program, that the referral program for the alternative school, personally, I don't think it's working. I really don't. I think we're losing kids, and that worries me. That because it's a longer process rather than if a kid decides or the parents decide that the kid needs to be in that school, they should just be able to go, right? Not have to go through this process. I think that's where you're losing them. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys because it's just something that I've been seeing a lot of. So.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions, comments on that, or would like to respond? Looking at the board, no. Yes, Susan Eddy.
I would like staff to respond to some of this, because in my mind, during your conversation, a couple of things came up. So like and I always don't want to overstep, because operations is not where I'm supposed to be going, but I'm going to go ahead and then you make adjustments if I haven't relayed it properly. But like with one of the reasons that I understand that we're not that we've changed how we're, what's the word, referring to 8th Avenue is in response to our Indigenous Education Committee too, and the grad rates and Indigenous rates. So there is a lot of thought and a lot of consultation that was put into how to make it so our Indigenous grad rates do better. And we do keep schools and attendance and higher. So I'm going to just say there is a lot of work going on that isn't always as obvious. So
I know that. Yeah.
So I'm just going to say that. There have been changes. Is it working better? This is something that we're still waiting for numbers to be quite serious, but that's why I was asking about bridges and some other ones. So I think we've heard that there are positive results. As far as the mental health, this board has been really, I feel, must be true of me, that we've really asked and given direction to increase the mental health, because we see a lot of stats. And I saw something, I'm going to just mention this. It's kind of I saw something so disturbing the other day. And I was so sorry, it was so upsetting. I was so thankful that I could actually maybe make a difference in children's lives. This young man was, I'll share this because it's important.
Eddie, I'm sorry, we just have to be careful on time. We are on 6:01, so we're over time. So can we just, I'm sorry. Can we just keep it a bit shorter?
Okay. So we have an attempt to affect positive change for students, and I think we're doing that. So I think just to address the mental health, I think we are making positive changes. Cost is a factor. We do have counselors in the district that we pay for. We're having trouble hiring counselors. There's a shortage. So just to try to address a couple of things that you mentioned, there is real work going on from my position that I'm seeing. So may not give you all the answers that you want, but I just feel you deserve an answer instead of not an answer, because that's important. And I appreciate that you come and that you have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I just worry about the kids because I see them and stuff like that, and they need help.
Yeah.
And they need on-site help and not they need psychologists and things like that. So.
Trustee Gray, go ahead.
Thank you. I was just going to thank you for your comments and your question, Mel. I was just going to kind of echo what Trustee Zanetti was saying is we've got an amazing team of counselors that are available for our staff, for our students. We have a manager of mental health. We have put a lot of time
on site ones though.
She works for the district and she does work on site. Yes. It is hard for her because we are a very large geographical area. I think today she was on the coast and spending some time with our students in Tofino and Ucluelet. So yeah, we do have that already. As far as a specific psychologist,
I just think we need on site somebody working at the schools.
We have a counselor. I know of one that kind of goes between, let's say, 3 elementary schools. There's youth care workers support available at the high school. So it's in place, and that tragedy happened and our senior admin team was in this board office, trying to come up with a plan, and we have taken it very serious.
No, I get that. I'm seeing what I see up Tumbler Ridge with that having.
Absolutely.
They need psychologists.
I was a youth care worker in this town working with kids in care, and I understand the need, and we are trying, I can assure you, at a senior level, to pinpoint those kids. We have many conversations about how to re-engage the kids, and we've got an amazing senior administration team, as well as teachers, education assistants, youth care workers, outreach workers that work very, very hard every day to connect with kids that still haven't been in our buildings in a very long time.
Yeah, I just worry about the kids that we're losing. So
yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and I get that. Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments? Oh, yes, go ahead.
I should have said I should go first because that was much more serious than what I have. Sorry. Charles Bailey, City Councilor, City of Port Alberni Council Liaison. Just to go back to the discussion with the regional district, just so you know, regional district have their budget in by March 31st. So there is a committee of the whole meeting on the 18th, and then the final adoption is on the 25th. So if you were going to do anything to do with the field and you have a money ask, you probably have to do it this month. If you cannot chair or make it to the 11th, maybe just
representatives.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say send staff and one representative, and then just get the ask in. The earlier you can, the better it's going to be. That's all.
Totally.
And thank you, Trustee Craig, for your fine words. Appreciate it. And thank you for taking on that role.
Well, thank you. Councilor Mia.
Walk away about.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks.
Great, okay. Oh, well, you might as well. Come on, Ryan.
It's quick. Oh, yeah, you're.
Michelle,
I'm gonna try and be quick too.
Going back behind.
Say this. I did want to congratulate the board and senior management on the work on improving the grad rates for our students. Each one of those numbers represents an individual, and those individuals represent the hope of our society moving forward. And I do want to make sure, implore the board to take this opportunity to thank those frontline workers who have helped make that happen. The teachers, the education assistants, the janitors, the maintenance staff, everybody who also is part of our team, the bus drivers who get those kids to school. I think it's important to consider how that message could be relayed to them because it is a good news story. And in times of financial crisis, good news stories are valuable and help to rally the troops, and the troops could use help. So my polemic is over. My specific question is more related to, and through the chair, to Assistant Superintendent Messenger. So for the amended annual budget, we looked at 3,957 FTE school-aged enrollment, give or take point something. That number has been relatively stable for the last 5 years, going back to the amended school-age FTE to 2021, plus or minus about 40. So 120 students does represent about 5 classrooms, give or take 5 elementary classrooms. I'm happy to follow up with labor management, but I would encourage the board to consider how conservative they are in their budget process. And I will have specific words during that process for that. So just to clarify, are you anticipating 3,837-ish school-aged FTE enrollment?
Through the chair, we're anticipating 3,817 FTE.
So that's 140 less than this budget.
Than this year's budget.
The amended budget passed today.
September.
Okay.
We always,
Yeah.
sorry, we always compare September to September. So when with the numbers you're giving and the numbers you're comparing to, I think are September to September, not the amended budget.
I was looking at the amended budget figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you. We'll follow up.
You have a question?
I just came back downstairs.
Oh,
I had to zip and have a quick chat before I returned.
okay. Okay. Just quick. All right. Well, with that, I would like to adjourn the meeting at 6:09 p.m. Thank you very much. So thank you for coming back downstairs. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Charlie. See you soon. You too. Right.
If I knew you were wearing pink, I would wear my pink.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.